Welcome to Midweek, Experiments in Faithfulness. This is a weekly facilitated spiritual practice with a Quaker flavor and an experimental ethos. My name is Kat Green, and I am a program fellow here at Beacon Hill Friends House, which is a Quaker Center for Learning and Action and a residential community of about 20 people who live according to Quaker values. Tonight, we have Jen Higgins-Newman with the practice Rewriting the Lyrics of Praise. In this midweek, Jen will introduce us to new versions of popular Christian hymns that offer us different language than traditionally sung, and will lead us through a creative opportunity to rewrite the lyrics to a song that means something to you. Now, I'm excited to introduce you to Jen. Jen Higgins-Newman is a Quaker, theologian, writer, activist, and currently the program director at Beacon Hill Friends House. Another fun fact, Jen used to lead worship for evangelical congregations and finds that singing still makes her feel in touch with the divine. Again, welcome. We're happy you've joined us. Jen, it's all yours.
Thanks, Kat, and hello and welcome. We're doing this hybrid style again, so it's good to be with folks on Zoom, and we have a couple of folks in the room, and I'm actually facilitating from the room, so you can see me sitting on the floor here with everybody in person as well, to have a nice close-up view of me here. Welcome, friends. I call this practice Rewriting the Lyrics of Praise. What I mean is by praise here are, if God or spirit language speaks to you, songs that really help you feel in touch with the divine or spirit or God in whatever tradition you come from. I'm going to speak tonight about my tradition, what I came from. You're going to get to see some fun, embarrassing old photo of me. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my journey here and why this practice means something to me. And I'm going to walk you through what this practice is. And we're going to try it together. All the images are of pianos because I actually play the piano. I was classically trained in piano from the time I was 8 years old. And when I was in high school, I got recruited by the Evangelical church I was raised in to be a part of the worship band. At the time, they needed someone to play the keyboard, and I was 14 years old. It's like, okay, I'll play the keyboard. And they found out that I could sing pretty well. And so then I ended up leading worship as a young person. And so here's a fun photo of me. I'm in pink. They needed a girl's voice to play with the worship band they hired at my youth group's houseboat camp. So that's on Lake Shasta on the top of a houseboat. And I am playing the keyboard with an actual professional band, singing the female harmony to all of their songs. And that is 7/27/2011. I was just a few days after my 18th birthday. So that's a fun photo. I really stick out in that one. So I'm wearing this like bright pink dress. And they're very at the time, the chic was hipster, but they were fun. And that was an interesting experience. So I grew up in an evangelical church, and music has been such an important part of the way that I talk to God. It's part of my spiritual journey. It's part of my grounding practice. And I'm so lucky to live here in the Friends House, where I have in this room just on the other side a beautiful Steinway piano, grand piano that I can play into the evening and sort of release or center or experience God. And I still do this. So this is a picture of my spouse, Ryan, and I leading a hymn at Christina Keith Perry's Quaker dinner church a few years ago in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So even though I'm no longer an evangelical, I have come through what I consider some difficult parts of my life being involved in that version of the Christian faith. And I came into Quakerism in my, after that year, I found out what Quakers were. And I slowly came into Quakerism in my late teens and early 20s. But music is still such an important part of how I worship God or how I engage with spirit. And so I'm often looking for ways that I can continue to do this. But one of the things that gives me pause is when I'm singing a song, if it's a song that I really have had found meaning in, or it just rises for me sort of in my head, that the lyrics aren't something that I agree with theologically anymore. And at first I was like, well, I'll just kind of let that go. It's like, these are the lyrics. Then I realized that these songs are written by people. They're written by people and they're products of their culture. And they might include some language from the Bible or other sources of spiritual wisdom, but they're written by people just like me. And so why not just take them and change them? And in fact, not only is there a rich tradition of people engaging in this, that's even how we got some of the hymns that we sing today in Christian congregations, but there's also a rich history of Quakers doing this, of taking out language that was based in war or violence and changing that language to put in Friends hymnals. So I'm excited to bring that kind of practice to you today. Now, there are, some people might ask me, why go back to older songs? Why go back to hymns, or why go back to some of the evangelical songs that you used to lead people in worship with? And there is a rich tradition now of people, of bands. I'm going to name some of them here, and I can send you some links, who are in the Christian tradition, sort of just coming out of the Christian tradition, who write new songs that are newly spiritual. There's a band called The Many. The second one here is the common hymnal songs of praise and protest. The liturgists, a Jewish woman named Shoshana Jedwab, who wrote this beautiful song based on Ruth called Where You Go. The band Gangor, the Soulbird is the name of the website of India Ari. And there's many more examples of people who are engaging in new creation. But I find it to be a pretty centering practice for me to go back to something that was meaningful to me and sort of do a reoccupation of it, or to take that back and say, it's not going to, these lyrics don't have to stay that way, but they can be something that is meaningful to me in a way that draws me back to my past and my past experiences with the divine, but without having to, but giving me some power over it. And so I'm going to show you some examples of people who have done this. But first, I want to talk a little bit about one other reason to do this is thinking about, what do the words we sing mean to us? And not just the tune, or that the tune is reminding us of a thing, but really are the words meaningful? There's a person in my meeting who leads hymn singing in normal times in the mornings. And she and I have had lots of discussions about how important it is for her to think about which hymns we're singing together, because the words mean so much, because the words are what we're speaking together in our community. So I'm going to show you an example of a song that you might know called This Land Is Your Land, and a person who's rewritten the lyrics for today.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the Texas border, through the Walrus Mountains, with the migrant caravans. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from the piers of Charleston to the fields of cotton, from the crowded prisons to the streets of Ferguson. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from the Jamestown landing to the Lakota Badlands, from the Trail of Tears to the reservations. This land was made for you and me. Oh,
This song is a rendition of Woody Guthrie's This Land Is Your Land by Liz Weiss, who's also the artist that I was playing as some folks entered. When Liz was asked why, she said this, August 10th, 2018, I sat down and rewrote lyrics of Woody Guthrie's song, This Land Is Your Land, with my friends Paul Zach and Orlando Palmer, just one day shy of the Unite the Right rally 1-year anniversary. The purpose was to write lyrics that told the origin of America. There are a lot of reasons to celebrate being American, but one thing that must first be talked about is the history. Healing can't begin without first acknowledging the gaped wound created by the colonization, the mass genocide of the indigenous people, and the enslavement of African slaves. There is still much work to be done. So for this artist, it was really important to take a song that is such a part of the culture and so dear to so many of our hearts, so known, and rewrite it in a way that speaks to the soul of her now and of us now and what we need now. So now I'm going to talk to you about more traditional Christian hymns that some folks might know, and show you a way that some folks have rewritten it. So, Come Thou Fount, which goes, come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Was written by the lyrics were written by Robert Robinson in 1758. Then I was introduced to some different lyrics that spoke to me more. These lyrics are were published in a book called Activist Theology, written by a person named Robin Henderson Espinoza. And they credited those lyrics to the First Congregational Church of Battle Creek, Michigan in 2017. And the new lyrics are, come thou fount of every blessing, give me courage to resist. Oh dear God, they came and killed you, but at death you shook your fist. Make me clever like the steward, make me angry like the poor. Teach me to unbind the captive, teach me to unbar the door. I'll read the new lyrics and then I'll give folks a minute to sit with both, and then I'll show you another example. So it says, oh dear God, I have such power that I never toiled to earn. Help me wield it for liberation. May the fires of your justice burn. Guide me, God, to read you truly. May your truth be named and heard. When I read the holy scripture, help me, God, to hear your word. Moving wind, your seed of justice grows into a mustard tree. Hit so big and obnoxious, is there room there, God, for me? Oh, my Jesus, come like heaven or leaven, infiltrate your hearts and minds. As we struggle to be human, help us to decolonize. When the powers stand against us, when we join hands with the meek, help us, God, against their fury, wield the weapons of the weak. As we stand up to oppression, as we speak the truth to power, Holy One, you walk beside us. We need you every hour. While I struggle with my hatred, with my fear and bigotry, help me, Lord, to join your struggle. Help me dance this way with thee. Give me prophets to confront me. Give me comrades in the call. Give me visions of that day when we will see the powers fall. I'll just sing the first verse for you of the new lyrics so you can see how it's the same tune. Come thou fount of every blessing, give me courage to resist. Oh dear God, they came and killed you, but at death you shook your fist. Make me clever like the steward, make me angry like the poor. Teach me to unbind the captive. Teach me to unbar the door. This next one we're going to talk about is the Battle Hymn of the Republic. The Christian version of this song, outside of culture and the military, actually came because Julia Ward Howe in 1861 was paid $5 in a newspaper contest to write a new version of this tune that had had several versions before that were really specifically military based. And this one was specifically Christian. And the Battle Hymn of the Republic, the tune is pretty popular. So if I sing it, you might know it, even if you haven't sang this in your life. And it goes, mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the faithful lighting of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. So very, very famous and familiar tune. Recently, a now post-evangelical artist, Audrey Assad, in 2019, wrote a new version that is stripping this of its military and battle language, but focusing on peace. This one's called Your Peace Will Make Us One. And she sings, mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. You are speaking truth to power. You are laying down our swords, replanting every vineyard till a brand new wine is poured. Your peace will make us one. I've seen you in our home fires, burning with the quiet light. You are mothering and feeding in the wee hours of the night. Your gentle love is patient. You will never fade or tire. Your peace will make us one. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Your peace will make us one. In the beauty of the lilies, you were born across the sea with the glory in your bosom that is still transfiguring, dismantling our empires till each one of us is free. Your peace will make us one. And I'll give you one more example. So as we think about what we might do, and I invite you into doing something similar for yourself, I'm going to show you a thing that I did that is very small. I feel like I can't think of lyrics to write a whole new thing. This does not have to be a whole new rewrite. There's a song that I used to sing in Evangelical World by the Robbie C Band from 2012 called Slow Me Down. And it's just really simple and powerful. But to me, the Lord, Lord, Lord over and over and over, it doesn't speak to me right now. And so in 2019, I rewrote this very subtly. And so instead of slow me down, oh Lord, slow me down, it's now slow me down, oh Spirit, slow me down. I just changed Lord for Spirit. And to me, that small tweak really helped me get more into it, really helped me center myself and feel like I was authentically from my heart engaging in, for me, praise. But for you, I encourage you to hear that in that, whatever is speaking to you, if that language doesn't speak to you. So how to do this? Why do I think that this is a spiritual practice and not just a fun thing that I do? I think it starts from the heart. You want if you're really praising God or doing something spiritual, you want it to be communicating what is on your heart. And you want to be able to sing wholeheartedly. And I don't mean that in the like totally metaphorical sense of like wholeheartedly, like with gusto, but like wholeheartedly, like really from the depths of your heart and your soul. So I'm going to talk to you about how I engage in this practice. Step one, as a song is rising for me in my life, I'm like, oh, I feel like a call to sing this song, or I have it stuck in my head. I allow myself to sing the song as it is written. I allow myself to just do it. And I notice as I do that in my body where I might pause on the lyrics, where I might say, I'm not sure that that's what I want to be saying to God right now. And then I think about it for a little bit. And sometimes I literally just sit at the piano and I think about it for a little bit. And I think, what would feel worshipful to me? What would feel like a thing I could say with my whole heart, or a thing that I could sing and feel like I'm expressing myself in the deep depths of my soul? And I make the changes. And it's sort of empowering to cross things out on a printed piece of sheet music and say, I'm going to say something different here. And then I sing the new song. Repeat as desired. So it's going to be your turn. I got fancy with the gifts here. We're going to get creative together. So where to start? So I want you just to take a moment with me to sit in some stillness and think about, as you heard these, is there a song that is rising up for you? So don't worry. If there isn't a song rising for you, like, goodness, why am I here? We just sat for a moment. You can sit for some more moments. And I can also send you a few options. So if you're like really stuck, I can send you some that might make good changes. So what are we going to do right now? So for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to give you time to go through the practice as I described. You do not have to sing out loud or definitely not unmute yourself while you do that right now, so we can give everyone some space to engage in their own practice. But I'm going to go back to that slide, and so you have the instructions there. After 15 minutes, I'm going to check in with you and see if you need more time. And we'll have some time for group sharing. You can read your lyrics. If you feel so bold, you can sing your lyrics. If I know the song, you can ask me to sing your lyrics if you like. But I really want us to have, fun with this and show up as much as you want to with your spirit and yourselves.